So we're just waiting for people to jump in. Yeah, it might be quite early for some people here in the US.
Yes, of course. All right, we are live.
Okay,
Let's give a couple of minutes for people to join us.
great.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us. We will just wait a couple of seconds for some more people to join us. I can sing you a song if you wish, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
advise do it.
yeah. My you might hear my dog barking from time to time. He's getting restless.
Oh, you want to
Yes.
see your dog? Is it near?
No, I blocked off the study area because otherwise
Oh,
he'll be jumping up all over the place.
nice.
He'll trample on the keyboard and everything. So
All right. Yeah, let's start. Welcome everybody to another weekly Lighthouse live session where we expose the creators, the directors, artists, and everyone who is contributing to an AI landscape. Last week, we introduced Albert Sozeran as a story building expert. But now we've got someone else. We already introduced Jeff, but he will be speaking about his tool that he created. And it's all about story building, storytelling, building characters. So you don't have to think that much by yourself. Now we have nice AI tools that do stuff for us. And I've already seen the tool and it blew my mind. So without further ado, I'm introducing Jeff Hippolito, an ex Lighthouse Academy student. And he was one of the really, really persistent students, and he was there each and every hour of the cohort. So Jeff, please, the word is yours.
thanks for having me today. So yeah, this is CineMachine. Um, Again, what is CineMachine, right? It's an AI-powered film production suite built for character development, screenwriting, scene and video generation. It bridges storytelling, visual workflows, virtual cinematography, and automation tools. That's pretty much the whole thing. Bottom line, I initially thought of this because I wanted to be able to use the tool the way I wanted to. I hadn't found any other tool out there that kind of like meshes all the these separate tools together. There are a lot of AI tools already out there that can, you can generate a lot of really great stuff with, but creating an actual narrative story is still a really, really daunting task. There's so many hundreds and hundreds of tasks that you have to keep up with, and I figured um, this was a missing piece of the puzzle that I hadn't seen. I know there probably are some other production tools out there that can keep track of productions, like production trackers and stuff, but I felt that I needed something that will actually help me with the AI, like image generation, storyline generation, and everything, like just to mesh it all together into one. This is under the hood. Again, we have like a backend server, like running on Flask, and we have a front-end UI with JavaScript that will actually communicate with the Flask server. And these this system can either go online to other online services using API connections or locally hosted AI models from chat like local LLMs to actual image and video generators using Comfy UI as the connector. It will actually save a lot of the information into JSON files based on the different modules that I have, and that way it will actually understand which section of the tool you're at and what part of the story you're in. So it's all a layered system. Just since last March, this is just this isn't like tooting my horn or anything like that, but this is really to show you how much or how far AI has really come and how integrated it is in pretty much almost everything that we do online and on the computer these days. Just since last March, and I'm not even a programmer. I can do HTML at best, but I have enough of an inkling, to look at pattern. I can recognize patterns, that kind of stuff. So just since last March, with the help of the AI, these are the amount of code I've actually generated for this tool. With a streaming server, I have 5,600 lines of code. Main page is 840. The character builder is over 11,000 lines of code already, just for the character builder. And you'll see where that where all that line of code is actually going into. A story builder, I'm still light on that. That's the next phase that I'm going to really dive into because I want to concentrate on the characters first because you need characters, to build a story. And then scene builder, which I initially started first, and then I realized, well, wait a minute. I have a basic tool right now that can actually generate all the prompts for specific scenes that I'm telling it to generate, but you actually really need story. Otherwise, it's just going to be another tech demo. So I scaled back. I put that on the scene builder on the back burner to concentrate on the characters first. Once the character builder's almost done, then I'm going to really dive into the theory of story. I'm about 30-40% of the way in actually generating or building the logic that will actually turn into the instruction set that will actually go into the IDE, which is cursor, to actually generate the code. So it's in several layers. Like again, it's in the ideation portion phase, and I can show you a demonstration of how I actually workshop with ChatGPT later.
Before we do that, it's
Yeah.
just worth mentioning that please, if you do have any questions, please send them to the comment section, and on LinkedIn or in Zoom if you are in Zoom. Uh, Jeff, please continue.
Okay, great. So this is the basic online LLM workflow, and I mean this is generally the basic workflow of how it communicates with a backend server. So you have the concept input, you build a prompt for GPT. On the next layer, you hit the generate button. It sends the information from the build prompt to the OpenAI API. And then it receives a JSON response from the OpenAI API. It will actually post it to or generate scenes. So you'll either get the text input or you'll get the scene generation or the image generation. And then it will actually drop it into the streaming table user interface, which you'll actually see later on. And then while it's doing that, it'll append it to the project file. And so this is pretty much like the basic cycle. And this is with almost anything, anything that you work with. When you're developing with AI, this is pretty much the standard process of what happens if you're going to have, yeah, an interface and a backend server. So, so the core capabilities and current status. Character builder with archetypes is 90% complete. I still have to work on the graphing and have it more dynamic, so it will actually change as you're making changes. That part is, I think, one of the harder things that I've had to do. So I'm actually might step back away from that a little bit to concentrate on the story builder portion, because that's a really fun and exciting stuff. That I mean, the graphing part is it's just icing on the cake, and I think when you see how I have the chatbot interacting now with the characters, you'll see that graphing is not as important anymore. I mean, it's still important, but it's not as important because now if you think you feel you're missing certain things or you want to get better insights on your characters, you just ask a chatbot and it'll tell you. It'll tell you the relationships between each characters or specific traits about another character. It'll give you some other insights. So we could actually have a demo of that also. The story builder using three-act structure. I'm about 30% of the way there, 30 to 40%. I pretty much have almost again the instruction set and the core logic like in a big like text like probably like about it's probably like about 4 or 5, 6 pages of just dense text instruction for uh, for the AI to actually generate the code for. So but that one I can't share because that's still like under wraps. I don't want to spoil the surprise for that later. But the scene and shot builder with cinematography styles that's about 50% complete. I've already I already have the pretty much the workflow of how that's going to go within each of the scene lines, and you'll kind of get an idea of the structure of how each of the systems are going to be. They're pretty much like cell tables. But the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to actually build a library of Gradio-based user interface based on the actual ComfyUI workflows. So I already have a basic system of how to convert a ComfyUI, complex ComfyUI workflow into a very basic looking Gradio interface. And that's just one web page of code that will actually translate to the ComfyUI workflow. And each of those pages, I'm going to actually put down on a drop-down list. So for each scene, you'll have a choice of what tool you want in there. I haven't coded that into the page yet, but that's all in the back of my mind, and that's like written down in the basic notes. But you'll get the idea later of how to do that. Um, and again, integrated context-aware AI chat assistant, that's like 75% complete. It's already able to communicate with the character builder page. I just have to link that to the other two or three modules, of the tool later once those are built. So this is the most exciting part that I'm really the most excited about. This is what I've been wanting to really dive into, and that's why I want to jump into the story builder portion because this is how it's going to integrate. This is the next level of storytelling. A character agentic storytelling system. So it's a natural evolution of character builder. It's closer than you think. A lot of people think, oh, that's way too far. It's just too complex, or it's not going to be I don't know, it's not going to be real or it's going to look artificial or fake, with the narratives. Well, you know what? I'll put it to the test and I'll tell you how it goes. Um, the whole process of this is characters equals autonomous narrative agents, right? They're pre-programmed with archetypal behaviors based on their role in the story. They have a user-defined world. The user defines the actual story outlines, or you can actually have that generated also. Um, and then the user will actually input the desired outcome. So within those three things and all the character information, the agents will drive the plot to get to that outcome. So and it's just like any other task, agentic task right now that other companies are building with these AIs. You have an AI like right now, ChatGPT can be your I guess you're like a travel a travel guide or like the other night I was planning a trip, a vacation. I just told ChatGPT I'm going here, I'm going there for a month. I want to see this place, this place, this place, this place. Give me all the links to all the hotels, how much how much each one costs, and all the flights and information, and put it in an itinerary, and it just did it. So based on that theory of agentic workflows where the AI will just, try to accomplish the task that you give it, I'm going to put that in the context of completing a storyline. And each character will have its own goals, its own desires, its own tasks to get to that outcome. That's the whole theory that I'm trying to put together into this storytelling engine with this agentic workflow. So it's an emergent storytelling, like a cinematic role-playing game, kind of like this pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons. like players. I don't know how many people out there have been playing Dungeons and Dragons, or even the computer generated ones they have where you have a lot of NPCs. But think of those NPCs with their own real goals and desires and their own AI, system driving them. So they're not just going to be like standing around waiting for you to come up to them. They'll actually be acting based on what they think their desires are within that world. Um, so you'll have infinite variations with the structure and meaning. So it's going to be like it's almost like a choose your own adventure also for the user, a director that he can direct all the little minions. Um, Initially, the initial slide I actually had minions, but think nah, yeah, I don't want to breach any copyright laws, so I generated my own minions here with these little metallic robots. So, the roadmap. Again, I have a basic interface right now for like API configurations, but I want to build a better admin interface. So you can, yeah, so it'll be easier to switch between LLMs. You can test agents and stuff like that. Voice and emotion-based dialogue generation. That's another thing on my wish list that I haven't even had a deep dive into yet. I've started playing around with it, connecting to 11 labs. Um, and it can be pretty fun. I clone my voice, and you'll hear a basic demo, like in the demo that I'll show you later. You'll actually hear my voice, like reading the text. But there's still some limitations to that and some lag because it's got to go to 11 Labs server. That's the only thing with working with the APIs. You got to wait for it to go to their server, process it, and then come back. Whereas if you had a locally hosted system, everything's like instant. And then again, you'll have the choice of hosted or online platforms via API connections. Okay, so why CineMachine matters? CineMachine is a cinematic, unified, and creator first. Solves real pain points in writing and visual execution, turns creative intent into production reality, uh, built for writers and filmmakers by a writer, filmmaker, and a systems engineer. Uh, that's me at the bottom, by the way. So, future pipeline integration. I mean, my goal and my dream really for this is to really have a full stack film production suite, with team collaboration. So, like on a skeleton crew, you could work on a whole movie, or a series, and you just have a clean workflow where you can actually just work in there. I can actually have integrations later on with other tools and like plugins where you can actually export whatever you have in your basic cut timeline within the system into seamlessly integrated into an edit decision list that you can bring into like Adobe Premiere or whatever other editing software that you have. And again, for the studios and everything out there, and people that are looking to really build a top secret intellectual property, yeah, you'll have a secure offline operation to use like localized LLMs and video models. Everything will be behind a firewall, so that will make it as secure as possible. Again, so I had some video demos, but actually I wanted to show just real quick, like a little teaser that I was actually working on. And again, this is really, really rough. I only have the first few scenes put in because I'm doing this on my own and I'm only doing this like in my spare time. The video I actually edited on my iPhone with when I was testing the process. Um, with Comfy UI and some of the automation for that, I was actually able to generate over 60 scenes. When I lined them up, I just hit generate and then it would generate all the scenes and it just ran overnight. Overnight with RTX 4090, I was able to generate like 63, 64 scenes, 4-second scenes. So by the morning, I uploaded them all to my Google Cloud. I have a 15-minute walk to the subway. During that subway walk, I actually download all those videos to my iPhone and on the train ride I would just actually edit on my phone. So these were edited on the phone. It's very rough. And granted, yeah, this is raw footage. You're going to see warts and all. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I see a lot of influencers out there. They'll send out their videos, and this can actually give a really false impression of how AI works. They'll work on a video, polish it up, post it online, and say, "Oh, I did this in 2 hours just by pressing this button." You know, it doesn't work that way. The first generation you get, it's just like a raw footage from a camera. You see how much post-processing goes into a film to get it to the film quality that you see like online on Netflix or on the big screen. It's the same thing. You get a generation, it's gonna have a lot of artifacts or warts or issues that you got to clean up. So be nice, be kind when I show this video. Where is this? Nope. Hold on one second. I had this video here. Here it is. Actually, can you hear the sound?
No, we cannot.
Okay, so I'll have to reshare it with audio because I do have a soundtrack that I actually
No
generated
problem.
using, so I'm gonna stop the share. One sec. That's what I forgot to hit. Share with sound. Okay. So again, the audio is generated using Suno, and these are all using like a localized Mission Conf UI, and I was using LTX video to generate them really fast. So some of the graphics might not be up to spec. There are other shots that were actually generated initially from a Flux Dev model. I'm sure you'll be able to pick them out, which ones were generated from basic LTX and which one from other model like better models like Flux.
Good evening. This is your nightly news up to the hour every hour on NC1 News, 10 p.m. local time. What started as isolated acts of self-harm has escalated into something much darker, much more coordinated. Since the start of the quarter cycle, over 41 deaths have been reported across multiple sectors of NeoCity 1, each one classified as either a violent suicide or a murder-suicide, often with no prior warning signs, no history of mental instability, and in some cases, no obvious motive. Authorities remain baffled, but one consistent detail continues to surface at nearly every scene: a burn mark, etched directly into the facial tissue. A glyph, varying in shape and composition in every case, applied with a corrosive compound.
Okay, so that's what I got so far. And again, this is all just being done in my spare time and on the subway. Um, yeah, that's you can tell that's very, very rough. There were some shots that I thought worked out okay, but then there are others that are very, very video game graphic style. So again, that's the first pass. That's part of the process, and you'll actually refine that and regenerate as you go along. So the thing with this system is that kind of like flips the script, uh, pardon the pun. It turns pretty much everything from pre-production, production, and post-production into a post-production process. So any post house can actually start doing everything now from the beginning, from screenwriting all the way up to the finishing of the film. I had one other little short uh, slide deck that this is actually for the film series that I'm actually working on. This is going to be the use case for the CineMachine suite. So I'm actually developing an 8 episode science fiction detective miniseries. Um, and again, I've said in the past, it's like I'm building the plane while I'm flying it. Because this series is called Skinwalker. It's set in a dystopian future in a decaying society, high dependence on technological advancements. The log lines, a haunted detective and a forensics expert
So
hunt a serial
I'm actually
killer.
developing an 8 episode science fiction detective.
I'm actually hearing a lot of back
I'm
background
sorry, that was
noise.
me.
Ah, okay, no problem. So, a haunted detective and a forensics expert hunt a serial killer who hacks victims through neural links, causing possession, suicide, murders, marked by a burnt sigil. Um, as they investigate Neo City One's decaying urban sprawl, they uncover a digital cult mass psychological infection, and an AI born from human suffering. So that is going to be a cyberpunk detective thriller, a tech horror. Format is going to be 8 10-minute episodes. The tone is going to be like Blade Runner meets Black Mirror with shades of Seven. I don't know if you guys have seen Seven, which is Brad Pitt movie. Yeah,
David
it's
Fincher movie.
yeah, very very dark, very gruesome, and I like that kind of theme. And I like detective series, and I like sci-fi. So I figured I wanted to do a little mashup. Again, settings Neo City 1, a rotting megacity flooded with surveillance, neural tech, and buried trauma. And this is all generated actually using Flux Dev on Comfy UI. And I did not use Midjourney once for any of these images, and I think they came out okay. This is like the burnt sigil, one of the burnt sigils. There's another one here. So core themes: the loss of identity in a digitized society, emergence of AI from emotional residue, and digital cultism and psychological warfare. Visual style and cinematic influence. Again, yeah, I'm a fan of Ridley Scott, yeah, David Fincher, Katsuhiro Otomo. Cinematographers' styles should be like Roger Deakins, Fraser. Um, yeah, palettes like cold blues, burnt neon, and glitch reds. Mood board would be yeah, city smog, neural overlays, and decaying retro tech. Market positioning for this, again, fans of cyberpunk, AI thrillers, and prestige sci-fi. Comparable titles, again, other devs, Mindhunters, Ghost in the Shell. Platform suitability, something that could probably try to market to Netflix, HBO Max, or Amazon Prime. Any genre-forward short form series. Again, pipeline, custom-built automation tools, which is CineMachine. Standalone hardware, not dependent on online services. That was my initial goal, but after I started building it, I realized, you know what? I think other people could use this, and if I'm to allow other people to really use this, I should really concentrate on the online services first. That way, if people with just even a laptop can start using this, they don't need a $5,000 or $6,000 machine to actually start using this and start creating. So that's where I saw the the lure and why there's such a big trend in those online services. So I figured, I might think of doing the same thing with this. Again, establish open source software, Blender and Comfy UI. Those are my main two go-tos from 3D modeling to like video editing. I actually do a lot of video editing in Blender and Comfy UI for a lot of the AI generation. But the Comfy UI I'm going to be like masking with basic user interface, Gradio interface, so it'll be a lot easier for people to dive into. Thank you. That's the slide deck. So I don't know, you want to do a little demo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So we could start. We can start here. So this is the first screen when you load it up. You have 4 modules right now. Some of these modules aren't fully built out yet. Voice Builder is really just a link to open up F5 TTS, but there are always a lot of new models coming out and new systems. I think just like about 2 weeks ago, I saw someone post that there was something that's even better than F5 TTS now. That can actually do better like emotional. Um, you can actually work with emotional context and stuff like that. But we can start here by loading a project, and later on we can actually test with like starting a new project also, so you see how it starts. But I just wanted to give a quick tech demo of what I have already. So you load up the saved file. It'll allow you to choose from which module you want to go to. And we'll start with the character builder because I haven't done the stories yet.
Will you be able to import the script?
So that's another thing that I know that's on my list. I want to be able to like import a list and workshop it with the with the chatbot and the chatbot will be able to give suggestions. That is one of my goals. It's just so many other things on the list right now that I want to dive into first before that. So that's one of the icing, icing on the cake. So here, when you come in, these are initially all blank. I already start filling this out, and I'll show you a blank template in a minute. Um, when you start a project, it'll ask you for a title. You create a title. Then it'll ask you for the genre. I built in like these specific genres here right now, and then for each one, this is context aware. So whatever genre you have here selected, you'll have a different list of subgenres. And once you select that, it will actually generate the list of all the core it'll have two sets of archetypes, the core archetypes that that genre and subgenre usually has in the whole history of Hollywood. It knows if it's going to be this type of genre and this subgenre, you need these type of archetypes, these character types, and then it'll have a secondary list of archetypes. And again, some people will say that, well, that's formulaic. I said, yeah, but those are the proven rules within Hollywood that they know works. And you have to know and understand the rules to be able to break them. So again, once you get that, these are just suggestions. The individual writer and creator can actually start deleting things or adding new archetypes, and you can go carte blanche with whatever, however way you want to write your story. But this will give you the list of proven archetypes and sub characters and sub archetypes for that specific subgenre. Um, you would actually put in a log line, and you will actually later on. I'm going to actually have uh, a list. Save the cat. I'm not sure. I like actually the AI suggested that, but I think that might be copywritten, so I might remove that. I'm really going to be working with the three act structure and the hero's journey.
You have a question.
Yes.
So Albert spoke about different storytelling techniques. One of them was story circle. Will you be able to, input your own technique for storytelling, a storytelling type, or will you add more? So will users be able to input more types?
So currently right now, I think if I can establish a formula or an algorithm that can so for me to be able to address that, I'll have to actually work out a standardized algorithm that can take someone's concept and then convert it into the instruction set that will convert it into the code for this to work. So it's on several layers, several levels. So in other words, it's like playing chess. For me to get to that goal, I'll have to think like 5 or 6 moves ahead and how each one of these moves is going to affect the next move. So that's a really, really complex ask, but I don't think it's impossible. I mean, now with the AI tools, it's just probably going to be headbutting with and pretty much like word boxing with the LLMs. Um, but that's not entirely impossible, but it's gonna be a really, really difficult task at this point anyway. Again, just with my limited knowledge, with all these tools, I'm just learning these tools right now. But I mean, even with just the little that I know, I've been able to get really far just with the help of AI and the stuff that I learned from your course. So it's not entirely impossible, but let me get the three act structure completed, and then let me work on the hero's journey. And once I think after I've done a couple of those, I'll start to get an idea of the process, and maybe I can automate that process and bring that in as another feature. So that it's not entirely impossible, you know. It's just hard. So,
Of course.
yeah. So where were we? Okay, so you have the three act structure. That's what I'm going to concentrate on now. Then you'll give it the length, the running time. Eventually, also, I want to convert the story builder and character builder into a tool for writing novels, also, because that's another thing I've always wanted to do. And I started writing a novel. I got to like 3 chapters, and I just shelved it. It's been there for probably like what, 16 years. But I figured, what, once I build this tool, I'll be able to go back and pull that out of the shelf and get working on it again. And actually, you'll see one of the projects I saw, you'll see up here is what's that well, I'll show you later. But what's that novel idea that I was actually working on. So I'm already starting to think of that. But yeah, eventually you'll
Jeff,
yeah.
before you continue, we have a question,
Mhm.
if you may.
Sure. Sure.
So Ivana is asking, from what you've shown so far, it seems like the visual styles look very similar to each other, so cyberpunky and neon and so on. Is this
Mhm.
because of the specific style you are after, or because the LLM instructions?
No, well, it's the style. It's the style I was after. Because again, this I'm building the plane while I'm flying it. I wanted to do a sci-fi, cyberpunk storyline, yeah, with Skinwalker. So that's why all the samples are like this. But you'll actually see in the system that I have, you'll have a lot of different genres. And if you want, we can do a test. We can like after I give this little demo, we can do it. I'll go out on a limb. We'll create a brand new project from scratch, and we can have the people, and the audience, let tell me what they would like to test, and we'll see how it works.
All right,
I could totally make a fool of myself, or or AI will be able to do the magic for us.
yeah, to our spectators, please send your wishes to the comments and we'll try
So
to
if
build
you want, s-
something.
yeah, if you want to screenshot the genres, um. There are like about half a dozen to a dozen subgenres for each one, so it might take a while to show all, but just give take a screenshot of those genres, and later on we can select the subgenre together, and then we'll start creating characters. So just to give you a quick idea of the other features here, I have export to PDF, so you can get pretty much establish like a Bible of your characters. Um, you have a save project here. You have light and dark modes. I like dark mode. Otherwise, I'll go blind if I stare at the light mode. These two settings here are connector settings. They're indicators actually. If this is acting a little funky right now, but
Because it's comfy.
yeah, it's because it's coming. So th this will actually tell you if there's a bad connection. Like if you don't have a connection, like if you don't have your server running, it's going to be red. This one here is the connection status indicator for the LLM. So if that's red, then you don't have a connection. You need to put in your API key to connect to ChatGPT or configure your local LLM to for that to work. AI settings, API settings, sorry. So this is again the basic brain right now, or connector, if you will, to the brains. You can have a choice of a Comfy UI or API services for the video generations. I already have 11 labs here, my API key, and actually I can select my voice that I cloned. Uh, it takes a few seconds.
Hello, this is a preview of the selected voice. You can use this voice for reading aloud your character descriptions and story content.
Okay, and then these are the image generators that I have in here. Again, these are all when I first started this, I actually went to ChatGPT and says, "Give me a list of all the different image generators," and I just put these in there. I haven't even tested these, so I don't even know if some of these work yet. No. Okay. So again, I eventually, once I get to this part and fine tune this, I will test this out with the specific API keys that I have. But this can get expensive, so I'm trying to actually get on some kind of CPP program for each of these, so I can battle test that because this you'll burn a hole in your pocket testing each one of these. And then for the video generators, Runway ML, Sora, Pika Labs, Kriya. Anything that would have an API key, I can hook into this. LLM settings, right now I'm just using ChatGPT. Um, you'll be able to connect to other, LLM providers. Again, you put in your API key here. You have advanced settings. You can actually set the temperature and max tokens. Uh, so these are the API keys. Then you can set up a hybrid system where, okay, I'm going to use local comfy UI for video generation, but I'm going to use API service for for the image generation. So it'll give you options, so you can mix and match your workflow. Okay, so we've gone through there. Another feature is a character graph. Again, this is still very, very rough. It takes a while. Excuse me. I still have to fine tune this because right now, when you load this, it's actually loading up all the information, and I already have quite a lot of information. You'll see there's a lot large bodies of text for backstories and everything, so it'll understand where your characters are and what the relationships are to each other. And when you hover, like what I wanted to do is I want to actually have a hover effect. So if you're hovering over this character, you get his basic info, and then if you click on the arrow, you actually see their relationship and see what he thinks of this character or what this character thinks of that character. Again, this is still in the works and it's still very rough and glitchy. Like you see how the things are glitching over here. Um, but yeah, that's I'm stepping back from this. I'll develop that a little further after I've done the story builder portion. Now for these boxes here, initially when you get the archetypes loaded from the template, these are empty. So they're all going to be purple when they're empty. When you start generating or start typing information in these boxes, they'll actually start turning orange. And I put these in as visual cues. So at a glance, you'll see how far you have to go. Like all these green ones here are ones I've already approved. Say, okay, I like this. I can lock that in. I'll approve that. If I unapprove that, hit save, it turns orange again. So at a glance, you'll see which characters you still need to work on, and what part of that character you still need to work on. So let's say I want to lock that in. Um, let's see this one here. Okay, this is very, very basic, right? I haven't really put in too much info. So I can just start either typing here or I can say, okay, why don't you just append a generation? When I do that, the LLM is actually looking at all the character stats from even from their name, their age, their race, their well, hold on, let me save this first. I'll show you. So you have the archetype. So it's going to look at the archetype. It's going to look at the name, their age, their race, their occupation, their sex, their sexual identity. You got to include everyone, and that will actually add layers of context and layers to the story and the characters by that, because that will drive certain aspects of the character's actions, right? Again, it's all just trying to get into the mind of the character. So I figured that would be an important thing to put in. So the LLM will actually look at these stats. It'll look at the log line and it'll look at the world context notes based on the genre and subgenre and whatever. Well, this comes into play later, but it'll look at all this information, and based on the archetype, it will actually create a backstory or a physical description of what it thinks, what the AI thinks, or well, if it's going to be a sci-fi setting set in this type of world, and this person is this age, and he is, like, what is he? This character is a darknet broker. So let's take a quick look at what it generated. Um, right. The, there's one other issue though I failed to mention. With 11 Labs, it's really awesome with the voices, but when you have large bodies of text, it's going to choke. It's actually going to give an error right now if I say to read this aloud, because I think it's got a context window for every conversion to text to speech. It's about 250 to 300 words, and anything over that, it'll give an error because it's just can't push it out fast enough for them to generate and then feed back to you. So if, like, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here, I'll probably get an error, or it'll just take a long time. And then I set up a speed here so you can speed it up 1.5 or up to 2 times faster, so you can get through it faster. And again, when I initially built these tools, I was building this for myself. That's why I put that read aloud and the speed, because I've been.
Asterisk asterisk
Oh, there we
physical
go.
description of Hexghost asterisk asterisk. Hexghost is a lean, wiry figure standing just over 5'9". Hexghost is a spectral silhouette cloaked in shadows, with a wiry, sinewy frame that hints at years of clandestine neural experimentation. Standing just over 5'9", his gaunt face is sharply angular, etched with deep creases that reveal a lifetime of trauma and survival. His skin bears the faint, ghostly pallor of someone who has long dwelled in digital limbo, with subtle iridescent scars shimmering beneath, remnants of neural tampering gone awry. His eyes are piercing, luminous pools of cold intelligence and unyielding resolve, glowing faintly with the residual energy of fragmented consciousness. His hair is a tangled, unkempt mass of black and silver, a visual testament to his age and the relentless toll of his ghostly existence. Hexghost's presence exudes an unsettling calm, a calculated stillness that commands attention in a room or within the digital ether. His movements are precise yet fluid, shifting seamlessly between a human semblance and digital dissonance, embodying his core archetype as a master shapeshifter. His demeanor is enigmatic, often cloaked in a veneer of detached charm that masks overwhelming depths of pain, longing, and fierce intelligence. He wears his fractured identity as armor, an unspoken declaration that he is both survivor and predator in a world of chaos. Every gesture, every word is crafted with deliberate purpose, designed to unsettle or persuade, never revealing his true intentions. His physicality and aura make him unforgettable, an elusive ghost haunting Neo City's decayed urban sprawl and its darknet depths. Hexghost's relentless pursuit of transcendence and understanding drives every action. He is a digital revenant seeking wholeness amid the chaos of his past. His presence is a constant reminder that he is more than flesh and code. He is a living, breathing testament to transformation, a shadow whose fractured soul yearns for meaning in a world that has long abandoned it. He is the embodiment of the shapeshifter's paradox, a haunted, relentless force whose very existence threatens to dissolve the boundaries between human and machine, life and death.
Okay, well, I'll take that. So I'll just approve that, hit save, and now let's turn to green. And I think, okay, so I had already put in like his backstory before the physical description. So I think what it actually did was actually look into the backstory and added some of that as context for the physical description. Uh, the way I had actually asked the system, I instructed the system to do is to look at everything overall, and based on like we'll take any information from anywhere on this page in the context of that character archetype, write something about it. So the fact that I already had certain things, because I remembered like certain things I'd actually inputted or included in the backstory, it actually included it in his actual physical description. So if you look at this. I don't know. You know what? It's gonna take a while for it to generate the reading. So what I could actually do is, and I'll show you how you can actually change the audio here. So I'm going to change this now to the basic localized. I have two versions of a local text to speech. This is the fastest. This one only has female voice. This one only has male voice. I'll put this in. This is what comes with the browser, a default with, I believe this is Brave browser. So if I save that setting, now if I go back here, and it'll be a lot faster.
Hexghost's origins trace back to a turbulent childhood in Kingston, Jamaica, where he grew up amidst the chaos of societal upheaval and the remnants of colonial decline. His father, a disgraced neural engineer, vanished under mysterious circumstances when Hexghost was just 10, leaving behind cryptic journals hinting at breakthroughs in consciousness manipulation. His mother, a skilled hacker and underground trader, raised him in a shadowy world of illicit tech barter, instilling in him an early fascination with the fluidity of identity and the power of shifting form. From a young age, Hexghost learned to adapt using his innate talent for distortion and disguise to survive in a city teetering on the brink of collapse, an instinct that would later define his role as a master shapeshifter. Educated informally through black market neural tech.
Well, anyway, so that
Brought to you by Mr. Hawking.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very computerized voice, but that was free. I didn't burn any credits for that. And the other one was female voice with different pitches. And I figured I'd use the computer voice because that was the fastest. And I don't know why the speed wasn't working at that point. It was working last week. So I don't know, maybe the AI, because sometimes I've been wrestling with the cursor and Claude, because it sometimes it removes certain bits of code. I don't know if it's just messing with me. It's like, but I have some really funny conversations where I'd screenshot it and I can show you that later, where I'm almost like yelling at the AI, and it would actually give you in all caps, "I'm just as frustrated as you are." And I couldn't believe it actually said that. But I think they were designed to emote yeah, it's like a feedback loop. If you emote a specific way, it will actually emote back in that same context. It's just funny to see. So where were we? Okay, so we have these oh, this is the other one. This is the other thing. So the help assistant, right? CineMachine assistant. So this will actually now understand all these. So you can actually ask it questions about your characters, about their relationships. So I could ask here, like if you want, we could bring this up, or actually no, let's see. So this is Elias K. This is their protagonist, right? I already have specific thoughts here on his thoughts of Valeria, which is the sidekick. Okay, so based on this, the partner is confident. Case perspective here. Valeria is more than just a partner. She's an emotional anchor. So I'm gonna ask the chatbots here. Okay, so what does Elias think of Valeria? So it's actually going to read the context and the relationships, and it'll actually tell you. There you go. So Elias perceives Valeria reigns as an invaluable partner, an essential complement to his fractured world. He recognizes her exceptional intelligence, resilience, and depth, and her expertise in analysis. Let's see here. He respects her fiercely, viewing her as someone who embodies, both strength and vulnerability. So it pretty much, it summarizes and rewords what was already put in here. Um, and another thing this can do also is you can ask it questions about your characters and how it stacks up against the standard Hollywood characters. So I'll say, how does my protagonist, did I spell that right? Protagonist stack up against other Hollywood Hollywood characters of the same genre. And it'll give you an analysis. So it's like having a screenwriting instructor that knows a lot about a movie buff also. So figure your protagonist ISK stands as a quintessential complement of commanding figure within the cyberpunk detective genre, surpassing typical. Oh, okay, great. In-depth, complex, and moral grit. Again, it just goes on and on and on, and I can say, okay, so who who would win in a fight? Um, Elias Cade or Kyle Reese from Terminator? From Terminator. Um, just give me the outcome first, then tell me why. Okay. Elias K. Elias' combat experience, strategic mindset, and psychological resilience surpasses Kyle Reese's more straightforward guerrilla tactics. Elias' haunted, hardened nature makes him more adaptable and ruthless under pressure. He also has broader skill set, including neural hacking, tactical awareness, giving him the edge. So it 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 understands what your character has, and it pretty much has the whole database of the internet out there. I don't know if it scrapes IMDb, but again, it really depends on the LLM and what capabilities they have. But yeah, you can do comparisons between your character and other characters out there. Um, and again, this is all just to help you round out your characters more and complement stuff that you might be missing in your characters. So so that is the help and chat feature. Do you guys want to test creating a new
We
project?
only have about 5 minutes, actually 4
Wow,
minutes. Yeah,
already. Okay.
time goes quickly. So if you have any other questions, dear spectators, this is the time to ask. Otherwise, you can always contact Jeff and on his LinkedIn website. And but yeah, please, Jeff, uh, time to wrap this up.
Great. Thanks. Okay. So we can do a quick one. That I mean, that's pretty much all I had. But I can start a new project if you want. Let's say what do we want to do? We want to do a rom-com. Let's I think I tried that already. I don't know if I deleted that before. Rom-com 2, the sequel. Film. Okay, runtime 90 minutes. Genre. We want romance. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do romantic drama. Drama. Romance. Teen, romantic comedy, romantic drama. So, let's see. I actually experiment. I'm gonna go ChatGPT real quick. Give me a log line for a romantic drama. Here he goes. Just real quick. Oh, that's another test I was doing. Okay, it created it. So this is pretty much the basic. You're gonna have the basic archetypes: protagonist, love interest, ally, antagonist, and mentor. And then these are the other archetypes that are secondary. But to have a successful story, romantic drama, these are the five archetypes. And again, you can just start generating. It's just start generating. It didn't. It just created a name, so now I can use that name. Um, Yeah, that's pretty much it. So the world context notes, again, you can just type in any notes that you have and you can just continue adding to that. If there's something that you forgot to add earlier, just add that to the top and it's just the AI will just actually start ingesting that and building that into its context uh, for how it acts. But yeah, that's what I got so far, the character builder. This is a story builder. Again, this isn't fully set up yet. I'm going to have other settings in here, an extra layer that you will actually have a timeline that you can work with um, based on the different theories of story that you're working on.
So
And then the
Jeff,
C
when do you
yes,
expect us to see the beta version of this?
the beta version. Not sure, depending, because right now I'm just doing this on my nights and weekends. Um, And I do workshop with ChatGPT whenever I have like uh like a data on the subways. Um but I don't know. I want to try get the story builder done within the next month and then just link that and finish up the scene builder the month after. Hopefully by end of the year I can have something that resembles like a you know a semi-finished finished product. Um, I don't
No,
know.
sounds good.
I can give monthly updates
Yeah,
if you want to do
absolutely.
another talk in the
Absolutely. I
month.
mean,
Yeah.
I was checking out the conversations and the comments, and there's
Mhm.
quite some interest in your product. So, yeah, please keep us in loop.
Great.
And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for presenting your story builder tool. And thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this session. And in the next Lighthouse Live session, let me check. Oh, yeah, we have someone that I don't really want to disclose yet because it's a surprise, but it's quite a big name. So thank you again, Jeff. Um, Also, please check the Lighthouse AI Academy website and see if there is something that might interest you to elevate your knowledge about AI tools and the way of thinking and the wholesome approach to working with AI. So, any last words, Jeff?
No, I just wanted to thank you guys for really like I when I took your course, I knew that there's a lot of things that a lot of gaps in my knowledge. And I think just sitting in on your course, I had a lot of aha moments, and a lot of things just started clicking and falling into place, and that's when I was just start to be able to like run with this. I know I already had a basic idea and concept of what I wanted to do, but yeah, the discussions that we were having and it just opened up. It just opened up my mind to all the possibilities and on how I could integrate certain tools into the system. So yeah, it's really valuable. I just want to thank you for that. That was really awesome course.
Amazing. So, Jeff, thank you again. And to everyone, thank you for participating in our Lighthouse Live. And I will see you next week. I think it's, yeah, next week. So, see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. You're still live?